The bachelor's route is here. Nearly. The demo version is available, it takes around 2 hours to complete it, and I am in awe. The music, the new mechanics, the general Daniel's vibe full of desperation and exhaustion. I am so hyped, we are so back, everything is perfect, but. Of course, there is a but. They added fast travel to Pathologic. Let me be clear, I don't pretend to be objective. All following thoughts will be my personal opinion and my explanation of why fast travel spoils the gameplay and the vibe it must provide. I love fast traveling in video games with open worlds, otherwise, most of them would be insufferable. It saves a lot of players' time. That's the case in most of the games. Time is important for players in their real life with chores, studies, and work. But it's not important in game, even if the game has a calendar. Take Skyrim, for example. Fast traveling takes time. It's visible, but it's just cosmetics. Nothing happens within the game without your interference. NPCs and quests will wait for you as many in game weeks, months, and years as you want. You are never in a hurry. The whole in-game world's existence and progression revolves around the player. It happens in most of the games, but Pathologic has never been among them. Time is the most important aspect of the game. In fact, it's so important that even the very first technical demo made in 2002 has the cathedral with working clock. There's even an entry in an art book dedicated to Pathologic of 2019. The main thing in the cathedral is a giant clock. This is what makes it such a significant building in a game when time is one of the key driving forces. By the way, the same page has this wheel in it, which looks suspiciously like this huge wheel from the very beginning of the demo. Just saying. In Pathologic, you never have enough time. It doesn't care how much you have to do and how little of it is left before the day ends. The game doesn't revolve around you. If your time management isn't good enough, characters and plot will never wait for you. They have their own finale, most often a very horrible one. In fact, in Pathologic Classic, you can do nothing for 12 days. Except for the Bachelor, you'll have to finish the main quest of the first day, otherwise you die, and the plot will conclude by itself. And probably here it's high time I confessed that I've never played Pathologic of 2019. That's why I'll mostly speak about Pathologic Classic. So the feeling of lacking of time is extremely important in this game. But you can have it even with fast travel, because time still flows while fast traveling. So, considering how tedious walking was in Pathologic Classic, I even understand the developer's decision. Yeah, most of Pathologic Classic is extremely boring. You walk, you talk to people, you walk to the other end of the town, you talk to people, you walk back. So, what's my problem with the fast travel then? It isn't bad to cut out the tedious part and leave the most interesting stuff in the game, is it? Well, not only the lack of time is important, but the feeling of time just running out and your helplessness in the face of it because of objectiveness of physical world. You have to cover the distance from point A to point B, you have to do it in the shortest time possible, you have to choose the most optimal route, and you have to do it while keeping in mind all your character's needs and managing resources to satisfy those needs. I remember myself walking through Pathologic Classic for the first time, and ironically, it was during COVID lockdown, so the experience is unforgettable. And I remember anxiety and unease I felt covering long distances of the town and trying not to get lost in yards and cobwebs of fences, feverishly checking on time once and again. Daniel's route is so packed in Pathologic Classic, it's not that you believe, you know how he barely has time to sleep and eat, not to mention finding food and medicines. The player feels the same emotion and lives through the same conditions as the character himself mentions experiencing. I've never felt anything like that before or after Pathologic Classic. I even had troubles playing it longer than 2 hours in a week because of terrible headaches it caused me. And I understand that this is much more efficient and playable from the point of view of a modern, and not only modern player than these. And there are not so many lovers of old game stuff such as myself out there. And it's completely normal. It's not that the grass was greener in the good old days or the developers casually fight Pathologic, but for me this vibe described earlier is completely lost. I mentioned routing before, and it's one more aspect of the game that is now covered by fast travel. Previously, Pathologic, both classic and the second one, had an open world. The town and the steppe was one single location to explore, and you could go wherever you want and choose any path to get to your destination point. In several in-game days, a player would find their own optimal paths which could be altered, for example to avoid dangerous places such as infected districts. It was your and only your responsibility and choice to find your way around the town. The town in the third pathologic is divided into districts, and the moment you step out from one of them, you have no choice but to fast travel. The map auto-routes for you, and if the path lays across an infected district, fast travel is interrupted, and you have to find your way across this district by yourself, and this is what I hated the most. You see, when you don't have fast travel, infected districts or occasional attacks of murder hobos are a part of a routine, which sometimes you can avoid. That's why they never irritated me, but I perceived them as a part of the experience. But when there is a fast travel, which can be interrupted, for me it's like a red rag to a bull. I've always hated such mechanics in games, because fast travel makes you concentrate not on the path to the goal, but on the goal itself, and when anything comes between you and your goal, it's extremely frustrating. But anyway, even though this fast travel situation is a fly in the ointment for me, I love the demo. I'm sure it will be a wonderful game when it's released, and I waited with all my heart and hype.